Russell Westbrook is one of the 50 best players in NBA history. He's also undoubtedly a top 10 point guard in NBA history, and he's one of the players that has changed the game with his triple doubles. But despite all of that, he's one of the most hated on players in the whole league, arguably the most hated. So in today's video, I'll be discussing why I think Russell Westbrook is so hated and why you shouldn't hate on him. Before we get into the video, I ask you to drop a like on this video to help my channel grow. Subscribe to my channel if you want weekly NBA content and help me reach my goal of 1,000 subscribers. And comment on this video, start a conversation with me as I respond to all of my comments. And play that intro. In my opinion, the biggest reason Russell Westbrook is so disliked is because of his fans who overrate him, because a lot of his fans make him seem way better than he actually is by claiming he's better than players like Steph Curry, Damian Lillard, or Kyrie Irving, or they just make excuses for him when he plays terrible in the playoffs or has bad games. And even though Russ has a lot of haters, he has just as many fans and supporters who I think people can't stand, with them being very biased and overrating him, so it makes them hate Russ, which is pretty dumb since Russ can't control his fans, and at this point Russ is way too overhated, because I can't go on a Russ highlight anywhere without seeing trolls talking about his flaws. And honestly, I hope the people who do that are kids, because if it's grown adults taking time out of their day to do that, it's just sad. I also think people hate Russ because although Russ has been a top 5 to 15 player for most of his career, his playstyle hasn't been the best for winning, as Russ hasn't been able to be successful in the postseason with stars like Kevin Durant, Paul George, and James Harden. And a big reason for that is because of Westbrook's unwillingness to change his game, and he has been pretty stubborn with his unwillingness to shoot less three-pointers and play off the ball. I think some of his haters just hate his stubbornness and want him to change. Russ also plays the game with a crazy amount of passion, with his screaming and celebrating after dunks and hype plays, and some people might dislike that. As I said, Russ has a lot of haters, maybe the most in the whole league, and there are literally haters everywhere, whether you go on a YouTube post, Instagram, or TikTok. They're everywhere. So I think some sheep people who don't actually necessarily hate Russ decided to join the Westbrook hate club, which is very, very dumb for obvious reasons. So as you could obviously tell, the people who hate Russ hate him for dumb reasons, but now to get into why you shouldn't hate him. The first reason you shouldn't hate on Russ is because you have to realize that you are witnessing one of the best players in the league's history. You won't see a player like Westbrook for a long time, or maybe ever again. Russ is a guy who has averaged a triple-double 3 seasons in a row 3 times. If you stop hating and if you actually think about it, it's actually crazy. Russ is also an MVP and is one of the best players in the league at carrying bad teams to a good record. It's undeniable that Russ is one of the best talents in the league, with him being the most athletic point guard in NBA history, and with him being a guy who averaged a 30-point triple-double over the course of a whole NBA season. Ridiculous. So instead of wasting your time having deep-rooted hatred for an all-time talent who hasn't done anything wrong to you, you should just admire his play, because you won't be seeing a player like him ever again. Or maybe you will see one like him ever again, but you shouldn't hate on him. The second reason you shouldn't hate on Russ is because he's a player who has done absolutely nothing bad off the court. He isn't involved in any drama, any scandals, or anything off the court. He hasn't done anything to make you dislike him. Westbrook is also a very humble guy who always shows love to his teammates and his fans. Legit, all the teammates that have left him have said only positive things, yet the media thinks that Russ is a bad teammate. Look at guys like Enes Kanter, Victor Oladipo, Paul George, and plenty of others. They all love Russ. Also, don't forget that Russ is one of the more loyal players in the league, as he stayed in OKC for a long time, even when it looked as if he should have left, especially when Kevin Durant left, and he just did so much for OKC. So I'm not saying he has to be your favorite player, but you should at least respect him. The third thing you have to realize is that although Russell Westbrook might not have a championship, he is a champion because he made it into the NBA and he also became an all-time great. Westbrook didn't have an easy path to the NBA as he grew up in a tough neighborhood and his childhood friend passed away at a young age due to a big heart. And in high school, he started as a 5'8" player and he was only a 3-star recruit when he went to UCLA. And then when he went to UCLA, he had to play behind Darren Collison his first year, and then in his second year, he popped off and became good enough to be a top 5 pick. And when he went to the league, he was one of the best players in the NBA. So it's clear that Russ worked hard for everything he has gotten. And instead of just hating on him, he should inspire you to do better stuff and not be trolling about his jump shot or whatever like that. Just appreciate greatness, man. To conclude the video, Russ is way too hated and none of the reasons people hate him are legit. And I just wanted to discuss it. I'm not saying you have to absolutely love him or be his biggest fans. We should at least respect his game and appreciate him. I'm not even the biggest Russ fan and I respect his game as an all-time great. So just stop the hate. Anyways, guys, that's it for the video. Let me know whether or not you think Russell Westbrook is a top 50 player in NBA history. Drop a like on this video to help my channel grow. Subscribe to my channel if you want weekly NBA content. And help me reach my goal of 1,000 subscribers. And comment on this video to start a conversation with me as I respond to all of my comments. And I'm out.